Welcome back to Miles Around. We're still going to take a look at the HHR panel, but let's slide into our driver's seat with this. It's the all-new 2007 Kia Sportage. Now, this vehicle originally arrived in 1995, and it's hard to believe it's been around for 12 years on and off. Well, 2007 sees an all-new design. Dennis?
Yeah, it's amazing how much has changed in over a decade for the little Kia Sportage. The original incarnation was more of a rough around the edges type of sort, where this is more of that quintessential everyday sport utility. A little softer, a little bit more urban-esque, I guess is the way you might put it. New 2.7-liter V6 followed by a 4-speed automatic transmission goes into what is really the part of the vehicle that matters in today's small sport utilities, the interior. Usefulness, the way that everything can fit. But you know what, for right now, let's take a look under the hood.
So now we have the hood open on the 2007 Kia Sportage, and you can see it's actually powered by a V6. And for a car that's 3,740 pounds at curb weight, that's a fairly decent sized engine, right, Dennis?
Yeah, 2.7-liter V6 with 173 horsepower and 178 pounds-feet of torque, running through a four-wheel drive system that does have a switchable, locked center differential by a little switch on the dash. We'll get to that when we jump inside. But more importantly, it's the way that it drives. Yes, it's a sport utility, but let's look at the way people use small sport utilities these days. They're not to go off-road. They're not to go rock hopping. If you want to do that, you buy an old CJ5. These are designed to be the urban sport utility. 235/60/16s on the front. I remember when that was a performance tire on a Camaro. More importantly, that quintessential IROC. It's amazing how much things have changed. This little sport utility, by way of their engineering and tuning on the suspension, really does make it have that sporty feel. It's got a nice feel as far as the steering input, the brakes feel firm and solid, but really overall it's kind of an all-wheel drive station wagon. When taking a look at the styling of the new 2007 Kia Sportage, it's like being a man of two minds. Kia's always been kind of a conservative company, but when it comes to some of the styling on their new vehicles, you can see where they're trying to break through and be more aggressive. The front end has some nice touches on it that makes it look almost like it's snarling at you, and of course that runs through these nice fender flares that go through the back of the vehicle as well.
Three things on the back of the vehicle I think are very important to talk about. First of all, the windows get increasingly darker the further you get back. It has a third brake light, which is an LED light, and also the back end opens either just the glass or the whole rear end and the tailgate comes up. And I find that's really useful if you just want to put a couple items in, or you actually want to load stuff in and you bring the tail end up all the way.
Well, now that we're going to jump to the interior of the new Kia Sportage, we're going to talk about, well, where most people spend their time. There's plenty of space for everyone to find a place to sit down, such as kids or dogs in the back, but it's about the amenities that it has as well. Power just about everything, windows, locks, and things like keyless remote entry, but more importantly, it's about how small families can find big space in the back.
The back is very spacious here. With the front seat all the way back, I've still got about 2 inches legroom here. It has lots of amenities in the back, cup holders, and also stadium style seating here. So I'm actually a couple of inches above the guys in front of me.
Now that I've jumped into the driver's seat, you really can see that give and take nature of the Kia. A lot of value, a lot of content for the dollar. Sure, it could have an 8-way power seat. You don't need it. All the adjustments are there. They're just manual. And sure, it'd be nice if it had a standard moonroof. But you know, the nice thing about it is I could just about put on the 10-gallon hat. There's so much room in here. And even at my height, 6'2". Nice sound system, and I'm going to mention that again. And just the regular driving position. You can kind of get comfortable with the vehicle. There's no blind spots behind you. It kind of gives you that command of the road, but yet it doesn't make you feel like you're sitting way up high. The thing about the Kia Sportage is this. It feels like a sport utility from an aspect that you own one. It feels like a sport utility from the fact that you sit up high, but yet it still gives you that everyday drive that feels like you're connected to the road.
All right, we've come to the part in the show when we talk about what we like and what we dislike about this car. So, Dennis, give me your 2 ups for this vehicle.
Well, for me, it kind of comes with a backhanded compliment. I don't mean to put it that way, Nick, but really it's content for the price. You know, I like this vehicle. I think there's a lot there. Great sound system, all-wheel drive, electronic traction control, all the airbags you could ever want in a vehicle for safety. But I think at the price point, you might expect a sunroof or maybe some of the extra little goodies that you want in a vehicle like a small sport utility. My other up is going to be this. It's the fact that, I hate to call them third world, but you know what? Companies like Hyundai and Kia are really willing to back up their vehicles. Any car manufacturer that says, you know what? We'll back it up. We'll stand behind it for 10 years or 100,000 miles. That's a big up to me.
What about your down?
Well, my down is this. It's how much are you going to love the vehicle down the road? You know, I think initial purchase, someone's going to look at content for value, they're going to look at price, but overall, 4 or 5 years down the road, they might want to upgrade. It's whether or not Kia is going to be able to give that to them in the long run.
Let me tell you about my two ups for this vehicle. First of all, I think what you get for the money is really excellent. All right, it doesn't have electric front power seats and it doesn't have some of the things you might want in a car, but really for the money, you can't expect that sort of thing. My second up for this vehicle is the styling. Now, it's a little bit weird in places, but I'll tell you, they've made some bold moves with this vehicle.
I'd agree with you.
It's kind of exciting in a sense too. My down for this vehicle, unfortunately, is Kia's history. I can't tell you that there's a down today, but in 5 years' time, I'm a little concerned that this vehicle won't resell for what you want to get for it.
2007 Kia Sportage EX four-wheel drive comes standard with a 2.7-liter dual overhead cam V6 and a 4-speed automatic transmission. The base price is $21,195 with an as-tested price of $22,775. The EPA rating for the city is 19 miles per gallon and the EPA rating for the highway is 23 miles per gallon.
Here are the guys that make miles around possible. The Russ Auto Group, Baxter Auto Parts, Northside Ford, Ray Reese Dealerships, 4-Wheel Parts Performance Center, Grand Prix Imports, and J. Lee's Auto Group. Thanks, guys.